Welcome everyone to another amazing episode of the Infinite Star Connections. And today it's episode number 3, and we have a very special guest, our dear friend Cheri Arellano. We are thrilled to have her on the show. So let us introduce ourselves. We are your hosts. I am Vivian Chauvette and my co-host Jeff Demers. Jeff is the CEO and the executive director of the Infinite Voice Project, as well as a Galactic Ambassador and a star seed for the bounty. I am the owner of Infinite Eating from the Stars. I am also known as an Arcturian hybrid, a universal healer, and a trans voice for many interstellar galactic groups, as well as a universal healer. My work include holographic work, quantum energy, and so forth. But today it's about our guest Cheri, and we are really excited to have Cheri on the show. Before we dive into this amazing an hour and a half together, allow me to properly introduce Cheri. Cheri is a truth seeker, healer, an empath, ascension advocate, and a protector of Mother Earth. She's also a beautiful mother, beautiful two children, a wife, a photographer, and a filmmaker. So Cheri's first awakening journey began in the winter of 2001 when she felt a call to travel to India, Nepal, and Egypt. And her adventure just starting there. And we're going to talk about that today. I know this is how she also met and traveled with her now husband, Mark. In
Mhm.
2012, she felt a new journey starting to lit up, and she felt a call to do more for people and allow people to awaken this new vision on the planet. She has studied intensively for the past 6 years meditation, energy field, innate wisdom, ascension oil, energy healing modalities such as Reiki, the emotional code, quantum, psionic. We'll talk about that, and you'll be able to correct me on that one. Uh, Frequency, essence, and I must say that she's a very, very gifted, uh, energetic jewelry maker, and I am proud to wear a few of her creation on the show right now. She is also studying under the Ancient Intelligence Mystery School led by Tracy Ash and I Ching. 2017, Cheri kicked off the Ascension Session, fantastic podcast, interview amazing people like Tracy Hash, Maureen Saint Germain, Laura Eisenhower, and others. I can go on and on, but let's dive. We want to hear about Cheri directly. Cheri, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Vivian and Jeff. Thanks for having me here today. I'm excited
Oh,
to be with you both.
we are absolutely thrilled to have you, and we're going to have a fantastic conversation. And we talked about it in prior to the show, the three of us, and we have agreed that my Arcturian core team and other beings of light and myself will conduct a clearing. So right now we're moving into so much energy and density. So what we would like to do right now is for everyone to simply center yourself, and we're going to receive what's called an interdimensional transmission of light directly from our beloved star, from Arcturus. So if you would just please make sure your spine is straight up, shoulders rolled back, feet on the ground as much as possible. And if you would please just go ahead and close your eyes. Perfect. And let's just take a few deep breaths, breathing deeply into your core, feeling your solar plexus opening, allowing your lungs to open, bringing more oxygen, more energy. Open your heart and feel your breath flowing gracefully through your body, expanding your bioenergy field. And now, with your higher self permission, our beloved Arcturian group, my star group, will start a download, a transmission of what we call interdimensional light frequency from our star Arcturus. And it goes straight into the core of your being. And in the name of your I am presence, in the presence of Prime Creator, We ask that any negative energy, lower frequencies, imprint, attachments, anything that is lower and is absolutely outside the resonance field of pure love of Source is completely transmuted back to the light. For restoration, healing, allowing fogginess to be removed out of your mind, your energy field, opening to pure clarity. And to say that anything that may have attached to you has no permission to be there. Only your divine light can stand in your body, in your energy field, in your aura, can be in the presence, even into the astral plane when you dream, your thought forms, your emotional field, in every aspect of the multidimensionality of your being throughout the holographic realities and beyond. Nothing has permission to enter that is outside of the frequency and the resonance of supreme love, directly from Prime Creator. So just keep breathing into your being as you're gently receiving this interdimensional transmission of light from our beloved Arcturus star into your being, always serving your highest and best, above and beyond. We're clearing the way, creating also a sphere of protection of light around you that will gently blend with your own energy field in resonance with who you are and by respect of who you are. So feel this energy moving from your soul star chakra, going down your crown, going down from the back of your spine into every chakra, going down to the root, the earth star chakra, moving down to your feet and looping back up to the front of your spine, to the front of your chakra system, moving back up to the crown and back into your soul star chakra. So it creates a perfect loop of interdimensional frequency. Beautiful. And remember, it will simply amplify the resonance of your own light as you are complete, magnificent, and powerful now, in all duration of space and time in every vibrational languages. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. Let's take a deep breath. Release. Beautiful. You're now welcome to open your eyes and return to your sacred space. Beautiful. Thank you, team. Already, I felt that really going strong. We're clearing the house here.
Yeah, that was big. Thank you.
You're most welcome. You can, of course you can. You're very powerful. Cheri, thank you for accepting to spend some of your time on this Valentine's Day. And today is Valentine's Day, everyone. So it's about love, the love that we have on our soul, the love for one another, the love that we have from coming from supreme light and beyond. So we're very excited to have you. And I would love for you to explain and share maybe the beginning of how all of everything that you offer will go back to everything that you offer, to essential oils, to services, to beautiful jewelry. I mean, I love your bracelet for one thing. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And looking at the beginning of your journey, in your bio, it says that you went into a very beautiful first awakening journey in 2001 when you were traveling. So if it's okay with you, Jeff, how about we start there, right at the beginning?
Sounds good.
Sure, absolutely. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I almost wore red like you, Vivian, but I went for pink. So we've got the balance of the pink and red. And I just wanted to send everyone lots of love and thank you for watching, and thank you guys for having me here on this special day, because Mon Cheri really means my love. So I thought it was perfect. So let's see, 2001. Well, let me back up just a couple years before that. I was living in Los Angeles, and I was heavily into yoga. I was practicing yoga like 4 days a week with my teachers. They were Iyengar teachers. And I was learning more and more about the culture of yoga and the philosophy of yoga, and really diving into the meaning behind it, not just doing the physical practices. And I had a friend who invited me to go to India. She was going to go with this group, this ashram group out of Philadelphia. And I said, sure, I'll go with you, because she had already been there. So I felt really safe knowing that I'd be going with someone who had been there. And a couple of weeks before we were set to leave, she backed out of the trip. She decided not to go. So I was faced with a really big decision, and I decided to go ahead anyways, because I had saved up this money. I bought my ticket, I got my passport, I told my employer that I was leaving. And, and I'm the adventurous type. So I thought, well, I'm going to go anyways. So I went, and I landed in Delhi, but, immediately went to Varanasi, which is like the Maha Kumbh Mela, which is the world's biggest religious festival. Like millions and millions of people come from all over the world. And, it's like a big mela, which means fair. So it's like a 5 kilometer by 5 kilometer sand pit right near where 3 rivers converge. And it's the Ganges, and I can't remember the names of the other 2 rivers right now, but it's very famous. Anyone can Google it. And, people come there from all over to sit with sadhus and nagababas and yogis and just philosophize. And so I was doing more photography at the time, and this was quite an experience for me to be there with the guru from our ashram and to be able to get close and intimate and photograph these beings. And every morning we would sit by the campfire and talk about life, and drink chai. And it was amazing. It was like the most amazing experience I've ever had. And I did that for 3 weeks. And then suddenly Mark, who was still back in LA, messaged me via email. We had email back then, and said that he was coming to India. So when I left, we kind of left it up in the air. We weren't sure if we were going to see each other again, or if he was going to come to India or not, So it was quite a nice surprise. And we met up in Varanasi, which is, another huge religious place. That's where the Ganges is mostly accessible, and where people go to cremate their dead and stuff like that. It's a hugely spiritual city. And so we met there, and we ended up with the whole trip was supposed to be a month, and we ended up traveling together for 4 months. And after being together for like 3 weeks in the most chaotic country you can imagine, we said, if we can travel this well together for 3 weeks in this much chaos, like obviously we can handle anything. And that was kind of when we decided to stay together, because when I left LA, we weren't even sure if we were going to stay together as a couple. And we just kept going, and we went to Nepal, and we went to Sri Lanka, and we went all the way to South India, and then we flew over to Egypt and spent 2 weeks in Cairo and Luxor and the Bedouin camps of Sinai. So that was a really, really incredible trip. And it was through that trip that the idea for Conscious Creative was born. And, you know, I had just come out of graphic design school and working as a professional photographer. And so I really wanted to offer my services as a creative, but in a way that could benefit the planet. So I set out on a mission to start a green graphic design company, and we offered, you know, only recycled papers and tree-based inks. Soy-based inks and digital photography and digital video. And Mark is a filmmaker, so he was also doing video. He was doing the video side of our company. So we did that. We opened the first green certified creative agency in San Francisco, and we did that for about 15 years. And that was a really incredible experience. And then in 2012, I felt a higher calling. I felt like another iteration of myself was being birthed, if you will, and I couldn't place what it was. Like, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew that I had another mission to fulfill. And so that's when I started kind of looking into mystery schools and finding a teacher. And I had a friend who was kind of like a spiritual worker. And we started doing these soul dives, and I started taking classes with her and started learning about meditation and innate wisdom and the emotion code, and, you know, just really learning, like, what is your energy field? How do you harness it? How do you protect it? How do you get in touch with it, tune in to your body, which is not just the physical, but it's also, you know, extended out into your light body. And so that was all new to me, and it was a very incredible learning experience. And so once I did that, I knew that I had to keep going, and that's when I decided to start learning how to do energy work and healing. And I was already working with essential oils, but somehow I knew that they were going to play into the mix of things. So I started working with essential oils. And as I was getting in touch with my intuition and learning that I was clairsentient and learning that I was an empath and learning how to listen to the signals of my own body and intuition, I got a download that I was supposed to create these blends, create my own elixir blends, and merge them with crystals so that they would create an elixir, which is where the liquid takes on the property of the crystals. And so I aligned both the healing properties of the crystals with the healing properties of the oils. And everything was divinely guided. I used a pendulum. I asked for recipes. I asked how many drops. I mean, it was really like precise work. And I did about 6 months of research and development, and, you know, made all my friends try them, and made sure that everything was not only smelling good, but also working, you know, in what it set out to do. So that was a lot of fun. I kind of became an alchemist, if you will. Aromatherapist is not quite the right word, although that's the word I use because that's the one people understand the most. But yeah, it's been a really fun journey, and I've met, you know, a lot of teachers and spiritual workers along the way, and it's been also a beautiful journey in learning, like, who my soul gravitates towards and resonates with, you know. So that's another thing, you know, like, I've learned discernment on this path, and just learning how to check in with myself. It's been such a beautiful journey. I would say everybody should do it, even if you don't want to be a light worker, because you really learn how to trust yourself and trust your inner knowing and your higher wisdom.
Okay.
So I don't know if that answered your question, but that was a very long answer.
The Ponte are here. Sarah's here.
Hello.
She is jumping up and down. She wants to tell you that they do something similar to their nutrient baths. They put some some chemicals in there, and it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a thick chemical, but they send sound through it, and that helps them whatever they feel. It makes them, it's just like a nutrient bath that helps them clean themselves, and it's like a, I don't know, it's whatever, it's like a almost like a gel, but not as goopy as a gel, right?
Mm-hmm. Like an enzyme bath.
Yeah, it's white, and they all soak in it, and then they send a series of tones through it, and it's like
Nice.
it's they just all enjoy it. It's like a vibrational, I don't know, something like that. But she wanted me to tell you that that's what they do.
That's awesome. Yeah, sound frequency is very healing. And, you know, I have a friend who's a sound healer, and I've been wanting to get a crystal bowl because it's just so nice to have one on hand. And I can also like send the frequency through the oils like before I ship them out to people. And that's something I wanted to start doing.
Do the
So
oil hold their frequency?
the oils have their own frequency and the crystals have their own frequency, and I align the healing properties, you know. So like, for example, rose quartz is for love and compassion and self-love and healing, nurturing. It's a very nurturing stone. And, you know, there are certain oils that do that as well. So I choose the two. And so when you get the elixir, it's got everything in it that is focused on love, compassion, self-love, and so forth. But I never thought of adding sound to the mix. I mean, thank you for that idea, because that would be quite incredible.
Like jumping up and down, jumping up. Okay, relax.
What's her name?
Sarah. Actually,
Sarah.
It's called Srahaz. So we call her Sarah.
Okay. Awesome. Beautiful. Well, it's like, you know, when you take a bath with Epsom salts, you know, that water becomes an elixir too, because the salt has its own frequency and it can clear any negative energy off your body. So it's kind of a similar concept, I guess.
Yeah, it really is. I can see that, especially with sound. One thing that my nocturne is also indicating in terms of sound is the resonance of your own voice, of when you do toning or just the own sound, the resonance of your own voice attune your body. Your bone, your skeleton structure is an antenna transmitters, and they're receivers at the same time. So just to attune yourself to the sound of your own tone, to the voice, your voice, and when you do toning or any kind of, you know, opening your throat chakra, that, and also the sound of your breath. So when we do meditation, it's not just about the background music or anything going on onto the exterior sound around you, but it's also to attuning yourself to the sound of your own breath. That is also very calming for your nervous system and very attuning. So I love all of these aspects together, and I can see that for you, bringing the perfect resonance, alchemy together into your ascension oil combined with the stones. And especially right now with everything we're going through, would there be maybe some elixir or mix that you would probably recommend for people to help them cope with everything that we're going through right now?
Yes, I mean, I think there's a few. Can I just scooch off for the screen for a second?
Yes, you can.
I want to show you a couple of different ones that I would recommend for people. I can't find I Am Protected, but so I have a few different lines. Sorry, Jeff, what?
Do you still sell those diffusers with a different color? That's really...
Yeah, I need to get more of those. I don't have any on hand right now. Mine broke, so I've been meaning to get another one, and I was considering getting like a wholesale batch and selling them again.
Those are something. Those are cool sell.
Do you still have yours?
Oh yeah, and I put it on different colors of the everything. It's just like, it's cool.
I love that thing. It's so 5D. So here's one of the oils that I'm kind of celebrating right now because it is Valentine's Day and it's the, you know, month of love, if you will. is called I Am Loved. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep.
Ta-da! It just popped in. And this one is a combination. It's got the rose quartz in it for love. And it has rose quartz in the roller ball, as well. And so I think that because we've all just come through a period of intense fear, I would highly recommend I Am Love, because love is the opposite of fear. And so when we can heal our hearts and focus on love, we're removing any old remnants of fear that may have been in our fields for such a long time. You know, I mean, because 2020 was super intense, and I think the collective energy was definitely fear for a long time. So right now I'm encouraging folks to kind of focus on love and light. The other oil that I have is called I Am Protected, and it has black obsidian in it. And it's got frankincense and sandalwood and a lot of the grounding, earthier wood tree oils. It smells so good. And it's great for protection and clearing. So if you're focusing on love and you're also focusing on protection, like those are two kind of really good things to, because they're kind of opposite. Like this is higher frequency, higher chakra. And then the I Am Protected is like root chakra, like it's a grounding, earthier. So you've got a nice balance of high and low with those two. And then thirdly, if you really wanted to kind of get into it, you could do I Am Divine, which is the crown chakra chakra oil. It comes from the chakra line of oils. And you put it on your head and basically you inhale it, you say an affirmation, I am divine. And then you put it on your wrist and you smell it on your body. Breathing deeply down into your belly, I am divine. And then I would put it like right on your crown chakra the third time and smell your wrist again. And say, I am divine. And so when you do this practice with all of the oils, it's like a little meditation and an affirmation practice. So you do it 3 times because you've got the power of 3, which kind of like solidifies the deal, like the butterfly effect. It sends it out into the universe that you're owning it, you're claiming it. You are loved, you are divine, you are protected, you know? So that would be like a nice trifecta little ritual that people could do every morning. You know, I sell 3 different lines. One is for emotional healing, one is for chakra balancing, and one is for physical healing. But right now, Vivian, to answer your questions, those are the 3 that I would focus on, is to help with protection, love, and then opening your crown to the higher realms and really staying connected to your higher self and your own divine inner wisdom, you know, so that you're kind of guided. Because I think the other thing that happened with 2020 is a lot of people lost their way because of all the uncertainty. Like we were waiting for this, waiting for that. And so we kind of lost our sure footing, if you will. A lot of people, I'm not saying everyone did, but we need to be, very like get back on track and feel grounded and feel certain of our path and just feel more confident and sovereign, you know, and not put so much power into waiting for others to tell us what's okay to do or not do. So that's kind of what I would like to suggest to people as we go through 2021 and move into this newer energy and leave the old energy behind.
Okay, now a couple of weeks ago, you posted about a morning ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Sabrina responded quickly, you know, but we're like, what the hell is she talking about? You know, I don't do that. You know, am I supposed to do that, or am I missing out on
right.
something? So.
Yeah, so I actually did a follow-up to that, and I actually put out the video where I shared with people my morning ritual. Or it could be an evening ritual. And basically what Jeff's talking about was I posted a question asking if people have a morning ritual to ground and protect their field or not, and they both said, nah, I don't do that. I don't need to do that. And I said, well, look who you are. Like he's working with the Ponti, she's working with Metatron, and, they're already kind of like tuned in. But I would guess that most people who may be new to spirituality don't have a morning ritual. And so I wanted to kind of share with the mainstream, or just everyone really, that it is important to ground and protect your field each morning. And if you can't do it in the morning, maybe do it in the evening before you go to bed, because when we sleep, we visit the astral realm, and you come
at that point too.
Excuse me?
I said you're vulnerable at that point too.
Exactly. And so you come into contact with other beings and other energies in the astral realm. So it's good to protect yourself from that as well. I mean, some mornings I wake up and I feel like I never slept. I'm exhausted because I was like working all night. It's just something that I do. So if you go onto my Facebook page or Instagram, you'll see the video where I shared with people how to, put up your ball of protection, ground yourself into the earth, and maybe do some affirmations. It's a good time to kind of just set your intention for the day before you do anything, before you pick up your phone or look at a screen or get pulled in 10 different directions by people. So yeah, that's what I would suggest.
These oils, are they, is there a specific order to put them inside your diffuser? Like on a Monday, I want to put in sage, Tuesday, basil, or is it all depending on what you feel, or can you skip a day?
Yeah, it's absolutely depending on what you feel. They make kind of like recipes for diffuser blends. There's all kinds of books out there you can get, even little pamphlets that just have like, 20 or so diffuser blends. So one will say like, I want to feel cheerful or happy or grounded or winter spice, like they'll come up with all these names. And basically I usually just take a quick scan, and one of them will stand out to me as like, oh, I need that today. And you just kind of ask yourself, like, what do I need today? And then I would do that diffuser blend. Sometimes people get up in the morning and they need to be energized because they feel sluggish or whatever. So then you might put in peppermint and wild orange, and maybe lemon or lavender.
I go through that like it's crazy. So
yeah,
I'm almost out of the lemon.
Yeah. So the peppermint's very uplifting. It's energizing. So is the wild orange. All the citrus oils make you feel happy and joyful. That's kind of what they're known for, energizing. And then the lavender is a modifier oil, and it's very healing and calming and nurturing. So it's a nice balance to feel grounded, centered, but also uplifted, right? So uplifted doesn't mean you're crazy and you're scattered. You can be centered and grounded, but also feel joyful or blissful. So it's a nice way to start your day.
Can you put these oils in food?
You can put some of them in food. I only work with doTERRA oils, and they're certified therapeutic grade. They're food grade oils. So we have like pepper, like black pepper, pink pepper, lemon, cumin, coriander, cilantro, orange. I have a ton of oils that are made from foods, and those you can all put into your food. I mean, you could even put frankincense, but I don't know what recipe would call for that. Right. So there's certain ones they recommend not to put in food, and it's marked on the bottle. But yeah, you can, On Guard, which is a blend that doTERRA makes, it's a protection oil. It's it protects you energetically, but also it's great for cold season. It protects you from the flu or colds. A lot of people put that in their coffee every morning because it has like cinnamon and orange and, this blend of oils that tastes really good with coffee.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. I've tried it a couple times. It's pretty good.
So you could rub it on your body too, right? I'm assuming it's like, you put it on your head, but I'm sure you could probably put it on your body too, right?
Yes, we usually recommend the pulse points, which are like your wrist, inner elbow, bottom of the feet, behind the ear well, back of the neck. Those are the pulse points, but you could also do a chakra alignment, where you put it on all your chakra points, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, etc. And for peppermint, like I just did what I call a peppermint hit right before this video, before our session. You put 1 drop of peppermint in the palm of your hand, rub them together, and take a really deep breath in, and like it just like brings you online. It wakes you right up. It's very refreshing.
Can you use too much oil?
Yes, you can. These oils are super concentrated.
Right.
And so most of the time you only need 1 to 3 drops of any oil. Yeah.
When I was first doing it, I'm going ding ding ding. Said I'm not smelling nothing. I put more in and pour more in there. I'm like, the next one I'm like, holy cow! The whole house is like, holy moly!
Yeah, you only need a few drops.
Just a little dab will do you.
Speaking of a ascension oil, you mentioned earlier, Cheri, about a blend for emotional, like for emotions to balance the emotional field.
I did. Can you give me a little more context?
Well, when we talk about the benefit and the how you can use oil, whether it's diffuser, whether it's the food, whether it's on your body, and you talk about the 3 blend. The one including the crown chakra, but you said that you have 3 different category, and the one.
Right.
Can you tell us more about emotion, because the emotional field is something that is so challenging, and oftentimes people get caught up in their emotion, they get run down by them. So, in connection to your special elixir of what you made for the emotion, how can that be supporting people, especially right now?
Oh yeah. Okay, thank you for clarifying the question. Yes, so I have a line of emotional healing oils, and the I Am Loved is part of that line, and there's 10 oils in there. And so I chose 10 different emotions that people often need assistance with. So I Am Loved is one of them. That's for feeling more love, self-love, compassion towards others. And it can also be used for romance, for romantic feelings. It has a lot of cinnamon in it, which is a great romantic, like libido kind of oil. And I've got, I am joyful, I am uplifted, I am centered, I am grounded, I am confident. I can't remember all 10 off the top of my head right now, but if you go to my website, they're all on there. And basically, like with I am grounded, that one is specifically, I am protected. That one is specifically for protection and grounding. That's the one with the black obsidian in it. I am uplifted. I designed for severe grief. So people who are grieving the loss of a loved one, or maybe they're really depressed for whatever reason and they just can't get out of their funk. I am uplifted is the oil for that. It has rainbow fluorite in it. I am centered has red jasper, and it's like just a feel good oil. It's got lemon, orange, and I believe lavender in it, and it's just a really simple feel good oil. It's the kind of oil you use when maybe you've been out in the world and you're feeling a little scattered, or you've just had a stressful day at work and you just want to kind of like pull your energy back into your center and center yourself. That's great for I am centered. I keep that one around all the time. What else? There's I am joyful, which is for just bringing in more joy. So maybe you're not severely depressed and you don't need the one for grief, but maybe you just want to call in more joy on a daily basis. These oils are a good reminder too, because of right on the bottle, I placed the affirmation. So you can't forget what you're trying to call in, you know, and then saying the affirmation also like seals the deal. And, the website is just cheriarellano.com without the ascension. That's specifically for the ascension session.
Oh, okay. Because it says, okay, I'm sorry, I got it from your bio, so I apologize.
That's okay. I know. That's why I wanted to send you the newer one. But yeah, so any of these oils, they all focus on a particular emotion. And there's one called I Am Relaxed, which has clear quartz in the bottle. And it's specifically for just wanting to feel more relaxed. Maybe you tend to run a lot of anxiety in your body. You know, you're always a little on edge or you're always a little anxious. I Am Relaxed is a good one for that because it helps you just like, you know, take some deep breaths and settle in, like feeling more grounded and relaxed. So I highly recommend you get the whole kit if you can, because you never know what emotion is going to come up for you that day. If you get the whole kit, you save money because you get one bottle for free, essentially. And they also come with free travel cases. But if you can't, then just get 3. You know, ask yourself, what are the 3 things that you're kind of working on the most? And also, I offer a free oils consultation. So I'm happy to chat with anyone for 15 minutes or so and like help them decide which oils might be the best for them.
That's awesome. That's awesome because especially right now, having very powerful energized tool, and especially the way you create them and being able to bring the support who says, hey, you know, based on what I'm hearing, I feel that these specific oil, those blends will be perfect for you. So I think that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Cheri. I was very intrigued by your, you know, emotion blends and how it can really support everybody. I just feel that it's so much in alignment with what we need right now, that kind of emotional, energetic support, allowing ourselves to go back to our light. So thank you for talking about it. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. And also for your audience, I'd like to offer a special, give everyone who's watching the show an extra 10% off, and we'll come up with a code for after the show, maybe like infinite 10, and I'll give them an extra 10% off. If you go to my website, you'll see there's also I Am Love Valentine's Day kit. It comes with a little rose quartz bracelet. So it kind of looks like this. You'll get, sorry, this is kind of challenging. There's a few different bracelets on there. It comes with a rose quartz bracelet. This one also happens to be amethyst and angel aura. Oh. But if you look on my website, and then it comes with the oil. So you get the oil and the bracelet for only $39 in this cute little bag.
Wow. That's just amazing. I mean, the one you just showed with amethyst and the angel aura really spoke to me. So I'm gonna have to go check it out for myself.
This one's not on the website, but just message me and anyone can get it, or I can make you one. If this one sells out, I can always make you one. But yeah, I love the amethyst and the angel aura, but the compassion lotus is really nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
See that.
Oh, Cheri, I know I can spend an hour just talking to you about your creation. So we'll move forward, because I know we have more questions. I just love what you do, and it just resonates so much. I'll give you a chance to catch your breath and drink a bit of water. Actually, we have a question for Jeff. That's okay.
So we
have absolutely.
Ludmila is asking, why do the Pontis need to use the energy bath that you described earlier? Is it to keep their frequency high? What do they need those baths for?
Well, most zetas use a nutrient bath for they absorb nutrients that they can't get anyplace else. So they pretty much get their stuff and they develop their own nutrient bath, and then we call it a dip that they dip themselves in. It goes up to their neck, and they just sit there and they just like wallow in it, until they feel like they've got enough. Sometimes that's where they get their food, but a lot of times it's where they just rejuvenate themselves. So the adding the audio is something new that they told me, but I did not know that before. But it's like almost like when Sarah was telling me about that before, it was like she's showing me like a roller coaster and people on a roller coaster having fun. So that it must be some sort of connection with them enjoying it a whole lot. So that's their nutrient bath. They can get a lot of different, their body can pull a lot of different things, whatever the body needs. So,
fantastic. Yeah, it does. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much for that. We have a question for you, Cheri, from Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy is asking, do you read energies in your consultation to help someone choose the best blends?
That's a great question, Kathy. Thank you. So usually a lot of my clients come to me and we do an actual healing session because I do energy healing work as well. I work with a modality called the crystalline healing light. And so through that process, I will often know what oils or crystals are best suited for the client. A lot of times they'll either come up during the session or just intuitively I'll know like what would be a good crystal or essential oil blend for them. So I haven't done that in the 15-minute free consultation, but that's something we could do. I could certainly ask during that session if you're not sure. But yeah, it's great. And that's how this whole thing came about was I started doing the healing work, right? The energy work. And then these are kind of like healing tools that you can have to take your healing further, so it's nice blend to do both the energetic work and then have something to support the work you just did afterwards, because really you're doing the work and the tools, the oils and the bracelets are just like little reminders and little tools to kind of help you take that work further. So that's how this all came about. But yeah, thank you. That's a great question. I'd be happy to help anyone figure out what it is. I can certainly douse, with my pendulum and ask quickly and find out which tools. I mean, that's how I make the recipes. I'll say, okay, I think it's lemon, orange, and frankincense. And then I'll ask. And 9 times out of 10, it's spot on. It's really weird. Like I'll intuitively know which oils to use, and then I'll ask for confirmation, and it's right on. So it's a fun process. I've even made custom blends for people. I have a client who wanted something to cut food cravings and something to help with edema, which is water retention. And there were 2 others. I can't remember what they were, but I made her special custom blends. And I have a wheel that has all the oils on it, and I douse, and it tells me like which oils, and then I'll ask how many drops, and then I'll go read the book. I'll go read the encyclopedia of oils afterwards to see what those oils heal. And it's always spot on. It's always like the right oils came through. So it's a really fun and magical process.
I got a question. I know that people sage their homes, right? Which is a common ritual. Can you do the same thing with the essential oil? Does it have the same effect?
It does. You can sage your pendulum. A lot of people do that as a way to clear the energy. So yeah, you can absolutely sage if you bought something like at a crystal shop or whatever, whether it's a crystal or an essential oil blend, I would definitely sage it, when you bring it home before you start using it. It's not a bad idea.
Have you ever used an oil during a full moon?
I'm sure I have. Maybe not like intentionally, but I'm sure I have, because I use my oils all the time, so I don't think about like, is it a full
This is a
moon?
lead-up question. So
Okay.
I want to get a little technical for you. I want to see how good you are. So
I know the last full moon was super intense for me. I cleared a ton of energy that day. So I definitely used oils that day.
what about sympathetic magic?
Sympathetic magic. Is that like intuiting someone else's feelings?
No, it's like it's used in Wiccan. Okay, they use these essential oils for spells and stuff like that.
I'm not super familiar with Wiccan practices.
Okay.
The most I've ever done, and this was like in the 90s back in LA, was like use an oil to cleanse the outside of a candle. You know, those glass candles, like before you burn it, you would use certain oils to like cleanse the candle and set the intention for the candle before you light it. That's like as deep as I've ever gone, because I don't know, it's just not my area of expertise.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can see that for you, Cheri. Like back in the 90s in LA, going utilize it. That's wonderful.
That was like back in the day when I smoked clove cigarettes, right? And lit my candles.
I thought you were going to say something else, but I'm not going to go there.
No.
I'm just teasing you, my friend, and just to bring a sparkle of humor and, and joy. So what I really would like to go through right now is talk about your gift, your intuition, because I know you're very connected, Cheri. I know we know Jeff very connected with his star family, the Ponte, and of course we know with my Arcturian and other groups. But I know you also have your own connection, so I like to explore that realm with you in terms of, could you share with our listeners about how when you said you use your pendulum, I can feel you're connecting something much deeper. What is your connection to your gift, who you work with in terms of your guides, groups, and other form?
Okay, thank you for that question. So when I first picked up a pendulum, it just like turned on like 110%. I don't know what it is, but I have a really easy time using it. It really speaks to me. And I've seen other people try it and it's like flat, So I thought like, oh, everybody can do this because it's so easy, and everybody can, but it doesn't just turn on like a switch like it did for me. And so I took that as a sign of like, oh, this is a tool I'm supposed to be using. And when I first did that, I was learning the emotion code. And then when I heard about quantum psionics, which also uses the pendulum, and it's a very like 5D high frequency healing modality, I was like, whoa, okay, this is me. Cause I'm very like sacred geometry, fifth dimension, higher frequencies. Like that's where I'm drawn. I also studied Reiki, which is more like earthy grounding. It's an older ancient study. You connect with those energetic lineages, and it's a much slower process. And that didn't resonate with me as much as the quantum psionics and the crystalline healing light. So throughout this journey, I've been learning about who my starseed family is and what some of my past lives were. And I've discovered that I'm mostly Syrian, like my soul origination is Syrian from the Sirius star system. But I've lived many other lives on other planets as well. So, there's parts of me that have been probably in the Andromedan system and the Pleiadian system. And I have them all written down somewhere, but I can't remember them all. But I've lived like 69,000 lives. So I've been around a long time. And through regression work, I found out that I was in the mer people realm, a mermaid, if you will. So I'm pretty sure that was during the time of Atlantis. I connect very deeply with Atlantis, as well as Lemuria. So I'm from the Atlantic coast. I grew up living in the ocean my whole childhood. I'm just like a water baby, attracted to the ocean, especially warm water. But here in California, I'm very attracted to Mount Shasta, and I feel a lot of resonance when I go there as well, which is like the Lemurian home today, if you will. So going back to this mer life, it was very kind of shocking, but not shocking when I learned that I was like a captain or a general in this army of light. So I was in this huge like light army, and I was like the head leader of this mermaid group. And I was also on a council with other star beings. So that was really incredible. And that was something that I learned with Vivian in one of her quantum healing technique sessions, which made a lot of sense to me because I've always called myself a mermaid. I make mermaid bracelets. I have 3 nieces who all look like mermaids. You know, we have a lot of mermaid energy in our lineage. So when I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect.
I'm so glad that you're mentioning that because it's been on my mind. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna let if Cheri talks about it, we'll go there. If not, I'm gonna hold my tongue because I remember during that QHHT and the quantum hypnosis therapy session we had, it was clear as a bell. I mean, it's just that mirror connection for you was very powerful. It's something that you carry in you very deeply in this incarnation, like you just mentioned. I like when you say I'm a water baby and been always around water. And you know, your connection with Atlantis, Lemuria, and then when you say about Mount Shasta, it's something that you carry so deeply at the soul level, that emanation part of you. It's just beautiful. So I was really hoping that you were going to bring that up because that day we were like, oh my God, what just happened? It was just, and since that, have you felt or have you noticed that your connection to that part of you or to the mer people maybe have deepened or some more like has changed that connection for you?
Well, it gave me a lot of understanding, right? It gave me a lot of understanding of who I am as a being, because I do have this like warrior side to me, like a light warrior side. And when it comes out, it's like, you know, it's like full on. And I never knew where that came from. Well, not never, but like I always wondered where that came from because it's so opposite of like how I run my energy when I'm just like this, you know? So, so that helped me understand a lot about myself, and I'm so grateful to that. But I feel like now I can track who, you know, when that side of me needs to come out for protection or whatever it is. The other thing that I've learned recently is there's a collective of smaller grays, like the shorter ones. You know, there's talls and there's who have been in my lineage for many, many, many lifetimes, who've been working with my ancestors and me. So that was new information. They're very benevolent grays, if you will, that have been working with us. Maybe even, I don't know how tall the Ponti are, but I kind of like to imagine them like the Ponti because they're so nice looking. But yeah, they've helped me with a lot of things on the physical side, as well as spiritual side. So I'm still learning about that, but yeah, that's another piece of my puzzle, if you will.
That's amazing because it really fit on. It really fit in with that part of when we explored the mer people for you. There was always
Hmm.
this other group that was there because when we were on that planet, there was another civilization, another group there. And so you mentioned it just recently found out about them. So they've been working with your ancestors. So is it like through the bloodline? Do you know if it's
Hmm.
more on the mother side than the father side, or is it on both sides of the family?
I think it's for sure on the mother side because I had a dream with them and my mother was present in the dream. However, my father was in the military, so I think that there's something going on that side as well. Probably less benevolent, but I'm not sure. Um, and what was the other thing I was going to tell you? I can't remember. It'll come back to me. Sorry.
Yes, it will come back to you. Thank you for saying that
Yeah.
because I felt it when you said about you just recently found out about this group of benevolent short grays. I felt it through the mother energy.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and
Oh,
then
thank
you're
you
with
for
yeah,
confirming.
yeah.
Oh,
I felt
I
it.
know what I was going to say.
Oh,
It just came
good.
back. So I've had like several experiences over the past 6 years where mantid or mantis beings were mentioned to me. And one time I was meditating with my friend and she like astral projected up into a ship that was hovering above where we were. And she's like, oh, I just went into this ship and there were all these mantis beings in there. And she had no idea what they were. She never heard of them. She'd never seen them, but she described them to me and I knew what they were. And I said, oh, those are the mantis beings. And, you know, they saw her. So she immediately exited and came back down and told me about her experience. And I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And then another time I was in a class and I was learning, you know, psychic development. And the person who was sitting across from me said, oh, by the way, the mantis beings want you to know that if you want, they can assist you with your healing work. And this was like 5 years ago or something. And I said, oh, really? And I was like, okay, I'm not ready for that. No, thank you. You know, so I was like, not ready for that. And then just recently, I've been, you know, capturing orbs in my house at night, as you guys know, because I wanted to see what was going on. And my home becomes like this orb portal highway at night. And we captured some of them on infrared video. And Jeff, you were able to freeze frame one of them and you saw a mantis.
Was the mantid in that one? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there was a mantis being in one of the orbs, you know? And so that was like the third time they've come into my awareness. So I think there's something there too. I'm still trying to uncover that, but I know that they're considered to be great healers. Mm-hmm. People have said if you ever need psychic surgery, you want it to come from the mantis beings because they're amazing healers. Like that's their domain. They're like the doctors and the healers of the Star Nation.
Yeah, they're one of the oldest races too.
Wow. So yeah, so you know that's something that I guess I have this open offer from them that they can work with me on a healing capacity to enhance my healing abilities.
My
For sure.
My opinion with that is take it.
You're the second person who said that.
Yeah, with discernment though, with
Mm-hmm.
discernment, because
Yeah.
like the Zetas, the reptilians, and the praying mantis, there are different groups. So you have to understand what group you are in alignment with.
Mm-hmm.
There will be the alignment ones, the gifted one, the healer ones, and there's others who have evolved on a different trajectory, to like to say it this way. So
Mm-hmm.
what my team has been pushing me to say that to you is there's opportunity for you. It's part of your lineage. It's also part of soul contract that other member of your family, of your bloodline have made with different groups. So use your higher discernment to see what group coming for you for one intention, and then being able
Mhm.
to learn from their perfect higher frequency alignment, if that makes sense. That's
Yes.
something that, because it's an open door, but it's on both ways. So for you,
Right.
there's a lot of different ways it can go. And it's
Mhm.
just a piece of wisdom to incorporate.
Yeah.
And I know you're very gifted, you're very connected, and I trust that you will know exactly what's best for you. So I am at peace with that nugget
Well,
of wisdom.
yeah, I always preface every session that I do, every meditation, every spiritual connection that I do, calling in, God, source, creator, energy for my highest and best, with harm to none. And I'm really clear now how soul contracts work. So, I make sure that if I were to ever make a contract like that, it would have to be with the intention of, pure source divine light, with no benevolent or no malevolent agenda behind it.
Of
But thank
course.
you for saying that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, that's my mission here, is to serve the light and to be a keeper of the light and to spread the light. So I put forth that everything I do is simply to serve the light. So I
Oh,
think
yes.
I attract other light beings such as yourself, who want to keep things on a higher vibrational level. That's very important to me.
Oh, definitely. We're definitely on the same page with that. And especially when it comes to soul contract, it's not just your own, it's what
Mm-hmm.
lineage, and I see that oftentimes in our work with the Arcturians, is a very powerful soul, a very powerful light being like yourself will come into a lineage and they make their own soul contract, but they're still within that lineage, and that needs to be cleared
Mm-hmm.
because there's other aspect of soul contract that can get involved in the way. We have a question for you from
Okay.
Kathy. Kathy's asking, have you always known your ancestral connections? And if not, how did you discover how many lives you have lived in your roots?
Thank you, Kathy. That's a great question. I have not always known my ancestral connections, and how did I discover them? So partially through meditation, partially through readings, from I work with a really good reader who is very connected to all of the star nations, partially to healing work that I've done on myself, regression work, QHHT. So I've done a lot of self-healing, with healers, not just me on myself, but like with Vivian, and I work with a lot of other healers. So part of my healing journey has been healing myself and going through those deep discoveries, what you might call a soul dive, and doing regression work and coming out with information that way. So yeah, it's been a journey and a process, and it's been interesting to see the different information that comes through from different readers or healers, because there's always something that aligns with other information that I've had. So, and because I'm clairsentient, I can know when something is true or not. It's just an inner knowing that I have, so I can validate the information that way.
I got a question from the Ponte.
Mm-hmm.
Want to know, can you heal a conscience with your oils?
Do they mean like fully heal, or can you be more specific?
She's pointing at her head. She's pointing at her head. What does that mean? What are you talking about? She's saying like a damaged conscience.
I think that essential oils can definitely aid in healing a consciousness. I don't know that it could fully heal someone. I guess it depends how they're used and how often they're used. Because if I come in as a healer, I can do aroma touch technique on someone, for example, which is like a layering of oils down the spine and on the feet. And it's like an hour session, and I'm like layering on all these different oils that heal your chakras all the way down.
I think
You know, and then I could
reference to is that she was like doing all this type of stuff.
Yeah, like if I put it on your head or whatever. And then, you know, I could give you the oils and say, here, now you continue and do the work once or twice a day for X amount of days. But I think that along with that needs to come really strong intentions, really powerful energy work, and consistency. Because I don't think it's like a Band-Aid one-time fix. Like, here's some oils, or even if I do a healing session on someone one time, it doesn't mean it's going to heal them completely and permanently, because it's like you need to keep doing the practice until you feel that your consciousness is then whole again. So I don't know if that helps, but I think if somebody was really intent on removing, say, a childhood trauma that was in their soul, we could find a blend, or we could find one perfect oil like frankincense or rose or whatever that would shift the frequency of that trauma, and we could use it repeatedly on a daily basis, and it would certainly assist. But I don't think it's like, it's not like a Band-Aid where it's just like a quick, simple fix. Yeah,
I think that's it. She's jumping up and down, so I guess gotta be close to it. It's gotta be close to the answer. Hard to understand what the hell she's like.
I hope that answered your question.
I don't know. I guess, yeah. But she's jumping up and down, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, a lot of it's about intention, because I can work with someone and we can like clear their field, raise their frequency. They can leave feeling amazing. And then if they go and they get back into that energy entanglement that was causing them harm in the first place, they've just kind of undone all the work we just did. So it's really important that, once you set your intention to heal something, that you avoid any kind of energy entanglements that lowered your frequency in the past.
It's got to be it, because intentions are everything to the Ponte. Everything is intention.
Same with my work. Everything we do is all intention based, and it's I am statements, and it's intentions and manifestation. And that's why the oils have the I am statements in them, because it's such a powerful tool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely right on, Cheri. You're right. We can make you can have the most powerful healing session there is. But ultimately, it's between the higher self and the person. And if they go back into the same resonance, or repeating the same pattern, or anything that happened, it kind of, whatever they need, they will receive. But at the same time, it's not a fix. We're not like a magic wand, because we call ourselves healers. So I love that, because that brings also a level of, responsibility and ownership, that we are there in a partnership with the clients. And I love what you said. Just a quick little fun comment here. Dominic and Cindy say, "Hey, Jeff, can you say hello to Sarah, please?" So hello to Sarah. She knows,
Sure.
Right?
In the long yellow dress, so long yellow, whatever. So
there you go.
So.
Beautiful.
I love that she's here.
Yeah, it's wonderful. They're always amazing. We have two questions for you, Cheri. Ludmila is asking, Cheri, do you communicate with animals?
I don't. I always get that question. It's so cute. I wonder why. I don't communicate with animals, although I do have a dog who is a healer herself. She likes to lick a lot, so her and I kind of read each other's minds. I know what she wants all the time. So maybe I am, but it's not something I'm trained in or have thought out in any way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Another question here for you, Cheri, from Nyoka. She said, do you feel healing start within our cell memory?
Our soul memory or cell memory? Oh, cell
Cell,
memory.
cell memory.
I do believe in cell memory healing. I think that's a super powerful tool and a great question. One thing that I use or talk about in my healing is that we all have a divine blueprint in our DNA. And our cells, when we came out of the womb, were perfect, right? We came out with these beautiful, perfect DNA blueprint cells. And your cells remember your divine blueprint. So anytime you have illness or dis-ease, we can reprogram our cells or remind them to remember their divine blueprint. And I believe that the power of intention works with this technology. And it's a matter of taking command over yourself, because from what I understand, the cells have two functions. So when a cell splits and makes a new cell, it asks itself, same or different? Same or different, right? That's the only thing it does, same or different. And so when you've got a cell that's diseased and it says same, it's making more of those diseased cells. But if we can reprogram that cell to be like, no, I want different this time, you can program your cells to be different, which could be using your divine blueprint. Remembering your cell, training your cells to remember their divine blueprint through the power of intention. I hope that answers your question.
Very powerful indeed. It's incredible. And especially right now, the potential that we're stepping into to reprogram ourselves, to rewire, like you said, those old patterns, to restore our pristine divine blueprint. So that resonates. Thank you, Cheri, for that. There's something in your bio that really caught my attention, and it's called, do you consider yourself as a protector of Mother Earth?
I do. I have a lot of earth in my chart, earth, signs in my chart, my astrological chart. And I've always felt really connected to the Mother Earth. Like, that's why when I started Conscious Creative, it was all focused on like, how can we cut down fewer trees? How can we create fewer chemicals that go out into the rivers, lakes, and streams? And so my initial awakening was really about protecting Mother Earth. And then, when I learned about grid work and the crystalline grid that's upon this planet, like I felt such a strong calling to be a grid worker. Like I really want to work with the Earth's grid points, and I just haven't found the teacher to teach me how to do that yet. But that's definitely something that I want to do in this lifetime, is help protect the grid and learn how to work with it. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm doing it on some level, but I don't have the training yet. So I do feel very connected to her. And a lot of people, when they will show me images that represent me, it's always like a Mother Earth figure. So it's kind of interesting also because I'm very much into gardening and I'm very much into the elemental realms and stuff like that. So I have a strong connection there. I always bring the mother energy into all my healing work too.
I felt that for you when you were talking about wanting to go work with the grids and get a training. The first thing I heard, it's Mother Gaia herself and her elemental says, let us be your teacher. Listen, it's already in you. And it's almost like it's part of your soul, part of your soul purpose, part of your soul contract with the earth is, when I come back in the most strategic time, I'm coming as a protector, an awakener for the earth. I can feel that for you. So, I mean, it's a big, beautiful invitation for you to let the greatest teacher teach you, Mother Gaia herself. I can see that for you, that awakening those ancient neural pathway within you and memory connectors to go, oh, it's just, I can see it. I just something in there for you. I felt it very strongly when you talked about your connection.
Thank you. Yeah, you're the second person who said that to me. To
See?
let Mother Gaia teach me. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. After time we ask, where could I learn? And we always look for the perfect teacher out there. And after
Mm-hmm.
time, the greatest teacher are right there in front of us, available. Doesn't mean that they are human on two legs. They can take the form of a planet, or they can take the form of elemental energies, and I can feel that for you. This is one of the things that really drawn
Mm-hmm.
my eyes to when I saw, in your bio, protector of Mother Earth. I can feel like, oh, yeah, I can feel like with your spear of light, bringing
Mm-hmm.
like we're protectors, and you bring many forces of light with you. So thank you for choosing to be a protector.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
One of
It's
the
one.
original, oh, go ahead.
No, go out, Cheri, please.
So one of the original stories, in this journey, I went to this event called Soul Tech, and I was working with Christine Contini. She's like an incredible reader, psychic, medium. And we were in this big room, and she was reading everyone in the room, and she got to me and she said, wait, I'll come back to you. It's too big. I'll come back to you. So she read everyone else in the room, and then she came back to me at the end and she said, oh, I got it. Keeper of the light. She said, you're the keeper of the light. And I said, what do you mean? I had no idea what she was talking about. And she said, have you ever heard the story about, so she starts telling me the story. I forget what it's called, but I guess when the earth was just seeded, there was like this great king on another planet. Let's say it was Jupiter. And this great king said to his people, I'm sorry, dear ones, but I need to go because the earth is losing its light and this planet is gonna disintegrate, basically, because there's forces that are harming the planet. So I need to go and save this planet. And all the people were so sad and they were so depressed. And they said, no, you can't go. You're our king. You need to stay here and protect this realm, And everyone else, and so like 100,000 people said, no, we'll go for you. And these people were called the original keepers of the light. So she said that I was one of those 100,000 people that volunteered to go to Earth to protect the light on Earth. So this was, hundreds of thousands of lifetimes ago, or, thousands of lifetimes ago. But when she told me that story, it immediately resonated as truth. And I started crying. And there was a girl in the room who was catty corner to me, who I never met. She's from New Zealand. She starts bawling. Her and I are both crying, like, and and she was like empathing the story, or it rang true for her too. But like, it was the weirdest like spiritual connection that ever happened. So we asked Christine after, we're like, why did that happen? Why did Liesl start crying? And I was crying, and she's like, well, because she was there and she witnessed it as truth, right? Like back then when it happened. So, it was another story that I knew was like real. It wasn't just someone blowing smoke, because of the physical and emotional reaction that I had to it, and then it was like when I learned about the mermaid, it was like everything was just like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like it just rang as so much truth. And that experience gave me a lot of clarity, because I was having a hard time figuring out my path and how I was going to merge all of my skills and label myself, right? Like I was so worried about how to label myself as a designer, as a healer, as an oils person. I do a lot of things, and it's hard to say what I do because I do so many things. And it dawned on me at that moment, like all I have to do is spread the light. It doesn't matter if I'm designing a website for you or making you a bracelet or an oil. As long as I'm infusing it with light, we're good, And it gave me so much peace that I could just focus on that and not have to, as humans, we try to label ourselves and put ourselves into a box. And it's just a program that I've had to remove out of my awareness because it's not serving me. It made me feel contracted and condensed until I had this perfect answer. I couldn't move forward. And I was like, what am I doing to myself? So once I could let go of that program, if you will, I felt expansive, so I would encourage everyone watching, like, check in with yourself. Like, if you feel yourself contracted or like stuck and you can't move forward on a decision, why? What's blocking you? Is it a program? Is it an outdated belief? Is it something that you can maybe shift your perspective on? Because it'll free your heart and your soul so much, like when you can uncover that and just like move forward on your path, and it gave me the name of my business, Divine Light Quantum Healing. So that was an amazing experience. And Christine Contini, if you don't know her, look her up. She lives in Nevada. She's amazing.
Thank you, Cheri. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's so true. The liberation of those 3D labels. And after time, we got stumbled upon it. How many certification? Who certify you? What is your title? What is your... And then it doesn't really speak really of your capability of who you are, but your essence. And this is also something that is really connected with the advanced interstellar group consciousness, that those labels are non-existent. Like with my Octane family, we don't say, hey Jim, hello, Jerry, hey Sabrina, how you doing? We don't talk like that.
Right.
It's an exchange of soul essence, and that soul spark or that soul expression conveys everything I need to know about that particular being through the collective and so forth. So I felt that energy opening and liberating when you said that. Thank you so much. That's a great piece of wisdom to bring to everyone, especially right now. And so we have just about 3 minutes to the end of the show. So it went by so quickly. I don't know if Jeff, you have another question.
I got one quick question.
The floor is yours.
People are meditating now more than ever. Do you what type of oil do you recommend while they meditate?
Yeah, so I have an oil called I Am Intuitive, and it's a blend, and it's meant for your third eye chakra. It's meant to help you with meditation, intuition. It helps you connect to the astral realm. It helps with lucid dreaming. It helps with all those ways that we get communication through our third eye or our inner knowing. And as well as the crown too, because they're so close together. So that's one that I recommend. The crown chakra oil that I shared earlier, I Am Divine, is also great for that. If I had to boil it down to one oil, I would say frankincense. Okay. Sometimes when I meditate, I just put frankincense on my third eye, and then I'll put it in the palm of my hand. Take a really deep inhalation. You can also put it on your heart chakra before you meditate. It's a great oil. It's the king of oils.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, and I sell the doTERRA oils in their single pure form as well. So if anyone wants those type of oils, I can provide those as well. But Vivian, going back to your last point about the labels, I just want to say that it also ties in with what you said about learning from Mother Earth, because several of my teachers have said, like, listen, you don't need to read a book. You don't need to find a teacher. It's in you. You just have to remember, and connect with those energies. And we get so caught up in like learning and having a certificate and proving to the world, like, look, I'm trained, But back in the day, people just had these gifts and they just like practice and till they felt like they could help other people. And so, along with that is listen to your innate wisdom, listen to your own inner knowing that, yes, I am a healer, or yes, I am an alchemist, or yes, I am a light warrior. Whatever it is you feel in your heart that you are, trust that and listen to that.
Absolutely. And so it is, my dear friends. So it is. Cheri,
Yes.
on behalf of both Jeff and I, we want to thank you so very much for your light, your wisdom, and also your kindness. And it's just so easy to speak with you. It's so easy to connect with you. We have so many, positive feedback in the chat room from everyone. And we want to also thank our listeners who more and more are coming every time we're on live on YouTube and Facebook. We're very grateful. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page, going also to connect on Cheri website. We also posted her YouTube for the Ascension Session podcast,
Yes.
her Facebook page,
Which we
making sure
haven't
you
talked about.
connect.
Next
Yeah,
time.
we haven't talked. It went
Yeah.
by so fast. It went
It
by so
did.
fast. Check
Yes.
out also our podcast, the Ascension Sessions, and I did post the YouTube link right there in the chat room. We want to thank you so much for all of you, and especially you, Cheri. We're going to be back on our next episode on February the 28th. We have another great guest, Daryl Stokes, is going to come about his quantum discoveries and brand new website services, his knowledge about also planetary alignment, astrology, and all kind of amazing knowledge that he has. Daryl is a natural, just like Cheri is. So we'll be right back here Sunday, February the 28th, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we know that it's 10 a.m. for Pacific and it is 1 p.m. on the East Coast. If you are international, we invite you to look at the time converter chart so you can see what time it is for your country. Again, Cheri, so much gratitude to you. Much love. Happy Love
Thank
Day. It's all the
you. Yes.
celebration of the love that coexists from inside out
Mhm.
around the world, around the planet, and throughout the multiverse. So we will see
Mhm.
you back here on the 28th of February. And we want to thank you again, Cheri, for today.
Thank you as well, Jeff and Viviana. I had so much fun chatting with you. I love you guys both, and keep doing the great work you're doing. And thank you, everyone. And don't forget 10% off. Give me some time to make the code, but let's make it infinite 10.
Huh. Wonderful.
And so
Yes.
it is.
Okay. And so it is.
Thank
Beautiful.
you, Cheri.
Bye.
Thank you both.
Thank
Happy
you.
Valentine's Day.